So why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace. Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, and welcome to Shadow Chasing Night. We're always chasing our shadow. We're not chasing our tail. There's a lot of things to talk about this evening as well. This is the 17, folks, the 17. That is the Christ number, 17 night. So look forward to the numbers as they're coming in. Our country, yes, Corlin, our country is going really screwy. We've got, let's do it this way here. The user. There we go. We've got a lot of things going on, and especially our prime minister has lost his cuckoo. I just, I was actually watching Parliament today just for the heck of it to see what they're talking about. 3/4 of the people that are actually in Parliament are basically making a statement that this whole convoy is racist. They're pushing the racist ticket again. That's that racist card again. They're really pushing it really hard. In fact, and I will say this, folks, there was a young lady, one of the MPs from Winnipeg, who is First Nations, okay, in Parliament. I'm not going to name her because she did make an accusation. I'm not sure if I should actually say it, but I will say this, okay? I'll say it this way. Today, she accused the Freedom Convoy of being racist, that the Indigenous people in that area of Ontario are in danger. Their lives are endangered, disrespected. What else we can put this into the? Let me add into there what she said. She also said that she got the message from someone who she confidently believes that the soldiers of Odin and the Yellow Jackets, which are Antifa, are part of the truckers' freedom. Okay, she has made that statement in Parliament today. She believes that she's got confirmation that basically that the Odin, soldiers of Odin, and the Yellow Jackets, which are actually, we already know it's Antifa, that Antifa joined or were actually the leaders of this truckers' freedom. You guys know that's a horse of crap. Okay? Absolute crap. But I'm going to say this. Another MP today in her readings in Parliament said that she fears for her life walking into Parliament. Well, like from outside in. Like she fears for her life walking in the street. And I was like, you can see it on my Facebook page who she is. And now, folks, if you can, for me, advice on chance, I'm on YouTube as well as Facebook Live on both channels. Please like me and share me on YouTube as much as you guys can. Let everybody know that I'm also on YouTube as well. But pardon me, I had something to eat before I got started. I had something sweet back there in my throat, so that's why it's kind of phlegmy. It's not COVID, all right? Anyways, there's so much happening in Ottawa, and the police chief, the one-time police chief, actually quit his job very quickly. In fact, he retired quickly because they know he was being investigated of his corrupted background, so he was removed. Yeah, the new police chief came in. Yeah, and then suddenly he retired. He not just resigned; he retired quickly. Like he's was being investigated. Somebody called for an investigation, and they did. They found some stuff on him, so he disappeared very quickly. So many things happening in Parliament. Like I said before, now I didn't finish the part. This woman, who was an MP in Victoria, BC here, she stated She stated in her own words, she feared for her life, going into Parliament, coming into the building, or walking down the street. She said she feared for her life that there were people throwing feces at her. She said someone threw feces, human feces, at her. She feared for her life. Number one, if you guys want to know who she is, I'll give you her name. She says she fears for life. Oh, they took it off my page. No, they didn't. Okay. Her name, she's the MP minister, and her name is Elizabeth May. Okay. She said she feared for her life coming into Parliament, coming to the Parliament building. She says she was outside coming in, and she said people were yelling at her. She's part of the Green Party. She was called down, and they were actually yelling and screaming, calling her terrible names, every F words, and whatever she puts on top of that. Pardon me. And let's see. Let's go further with it. She basically wants the Freedom Truckers actually shut down. She wants them out of the way. She says that they're a nuisance. She says there's no reason why they should be there, even in BC. Her feelings, I think she feels they need to be arrested. She's not supporting our Canadian Charter and rights and freedoms. She thinks, these are her words, she believes there may be something dangerous in the trucks if it may lead to more violence. She is adding information, making Parliament believe that there's something inside those trucks that may go. Okay. Why did she mislead Parliament that way? She should never, ever say that unless she's got proof. Elizabeth May, if you know what I will tell you, because I know full well that the government's watching me. I know you guys are watching me because I feel you guys on my back all the time. I'm in BC. Elizabeth May, you started something up you wish you shouldn't have done. And that is you created even your own personal war. Not with me. You created a personal war with the people in BC now. You accuse them believing, the public to believe, that there may be something more dangerous in those box trucks that can lead to violence. You're in deep trouble, Elizabeth May. You planted something in there, and the people are going to begin to believe it. Okay? She also, and it's recorded, folks. You can watch the video. When you watch the video, she's at the end, almost at the end of the video, doing her little spiel. Okay? She also stated, she even said that most violent assaults that she's received before entering the Parliament building was some people threw his feces at her. She wants us to go home and be told what to do next in the stage of mandatory laws by the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys this. Is she a traitor to the freedom of rights in Canada? What have they got on her now? Something she must have done that she's doing this. She's a member of the Green Party, but they've got something on her. Trudeau's got something on her. Okay. And she knows. I thought she retired. I thought she quit. Suddenly she's back in Parliament. Why? Because she loves to get her nose in this kind of stuff. Okay. Yes, Lois, basically, have a look in her bank account. She's getting paid very, very well. Very well. She knows she's in deep trouble. Okay. What does Trudeau have on her record? Yep. And also, too, let's see what else we got here. You got, yeah, okay, I'll just say that. I'll just say that far. You got to see what she has said. Listen carefully. Listen carefully to her words, because she has a tendency of twisting the story. She'll make it look as if, well, I'm investigating this, but then she'll add her own way, her own belief, but she adds the word violence. Okay. She's not protecting the truckers. She's invoking the truckers. She wants them to get mad. She wants them to make the attack. She wants them to hate. Okay. And yeah, they're all CGI actors. I know. They're all sitting there, yeah, you're right, Joanne. They're all CGI actors. They're just people who are separated into different areas to look like as if they're in Parliament. There's nobody in that building. It's all CGI. They're all in different places, and they get to look as, and what the CGI does, they can actually place them all in Parliament to look as if they're all there in person. Trust me, I've seen this done before. Okay, now, and if they are in Parliament, I like to know how they could be in Parliament when the whole fencing is all, they got fencing up way so high that who are they going to let in, right? Yeah, have a look at it. Watch Coraline. You'd be surprised. I mean, she's in one way, she says she's digging deep and she wants to give us our rights, but then she turns around and she says, what if they got something in the truck? Why did you add something that's a negative if you want to make it a positive? But she's also saying that they're basically, what Trudeau had called for a war. He's basically calling this a war. This is basically a war. He wants to believe that now. He also tried a few weeks back. He tried to put up some information. There was someone whose vehicle was full of firearms, and that was way up in Alberta, way on some farm somewhere. And they found a whole bunch of firearms in some guy's building. One of the newspaper reporters, or whoever he was, I'm not sure who that person was, but decided to take those photographs and add them into the Freedom Convoy to make it look as if this is going to be brought. These guns are supposed to be handed out to them for the fight. There's no firearms to be needed, folks. It never was going to be needed. None. That's not what's about. A freedom of living, a freedom of life, freedom of choice. Freedom means freedom, not with weapons. Our weapon is love. Our weapon is peace. That has always have been. There was a time that happened back in the 1940s and 50s that these people in British Columbia were tired of being abused by the mayor of Vancouver, and he was a major racist. The people had no work. They were not allowed to work because of their race. So what these people had all done, they decided to demand their freedom, and the government wouldn't do anything about it in British Columbia. So they took the train and they sat on the roof of the trains, and they said they're going to go to Ottawa to demand their freedoms. And they were at every stops that they stopped when the train was happening. People found out about this, that they were on top of the trains. They want to go see the Prime Minister, and they want to demand their freedoms. By the time they got to Regina, the military police, the RCMP, were waiting for them, and they forced them all off the train, and they beat the living crap out of them with their billy clubs. There was over 100 people that got killed in this. They were beaten to death by the police. Beaten to death. That was their first protest of freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of life. Freedom. Those men in the earlier years, that's our first protest in Canada. That's our first freedom convoy that we actually did. But our convoy was on the train. Okay? They convoyed on a train to get to Ottawa to tell the Prime Minister, enough is enough. We want our freedom. We want our jobs back. We want to be working. But because if you're a different race, color, and creed, They wouldn't let them. Our BC government was one of the most racist governments in Canada. It was absolutely horrible, deplorable, evil to the max. Evilest to the max. You guys think that BC is a province? It's not. BC is not even a province, guys. It was never registered as a province. It was a corporate run location. It was corporate owned, not a province. Has never been recognized as a province. It became a province after the corporations sold it to the Queen. Sold it. Okay? Now you know. Everyone here is wanting their freedom. We're tired of these lockdowns. We're tired of all these mask wearing. We're tired of being forced to do everything that the government wants you to do. They're basically doing is robotically controlling you. That's what that's what they want you to be, robotically controlled. Why do you think these passports are for, folks? That's all based on the Fourth Reich, the German way. The Third Reich happened during 1942 to 45. But Hitler said after he's gone, he's going to rise, or others behind him will rise to the Fourth Reich. Christy Freeland is related to those Germans. Justin Trudeau's wife is the granddaughter of Hitler. You guys think you have freedom? Justin Trudeau is the son of Fidel Castro. Those are the people who have been trying to control your lives for these last 2+ years. And they're asking everybody, as much as you possibly can, take your money now out of the corporate banks now. Because right now, as we speak, the corporate banks are closing. They're locking their doors. They're not going to give you any money because it has already been taken. They're freezing your money. Whether you donate it or not, they're trying to control your money. Now, if you are a savings bank, you're okay because you're not under the corporation. If you're under a shareholding bank, you're okay. But if you're under a corporation like the CIBC, Toronto Dominion, Bank of Montreal, it's the worst. Bank of Montreal is connected to child pedophiles. You know that, right? They're part of a child pedophile organization. Credit unions are safe because they're all under our own. We can control our own money. But every other bank, corporate bank, you're going to lose your money. That's what Justin Trudeau is going to do. His goal is to freeze all banks, completely control all banks. And the banking, freezing the banks has nothing to do with the convoy. He's using that as an excuse. He's got you people in so many provinces believing that this is still over racism. It has nothing to do with racism. It's all part of the freedom. If you guys want to run around being double vax, triple vax, quadruple vax, I couldn't care less. But you're going to feel the sickness after. You're going to absolutely feel sick after, because when you find out later on from the third jab is the AIDS that's in it, and it is, because Fauci made sure of it. And Mr. Trudeau bought it all. He invested in it. That's why do you think he's pushing you to take it? Because he's a person who's part of Fidel's family. He is a depopulator. That's his goal. That's why he got elected in. That's why he cheated his way in the second round of voting. Why do you think when the lockdown, nobody could vote after the lockdown? Because he made sure of it. He tainted it. He tainted your votes. He was also part of the same thing that happened across the border. He was part of that too. He screwed Trump out of his votes because he was part of that organization, which is actually here in Canada. So I'm telling you guys, the corruption is in Canada as well as the United States, but Canada is not as clean as you think it is. It's not just happy-go-lucky. We are happy-go-lucky because we are trying to live, and we're trying to, and everybody's having a great time. I watched today some of the videos that Pat King has shared, and other people that I know have shared in Ontario and up in Ottawa. They're all having a great time. And then the government had the audacity, some idiot in Parliament had the audacity to say, and he said it in Parliament, I watched the video. He said, "We're coming for your children. You'll never get them back. So you better leave now because we're going to take your kids." Who has the right to take your children? No one. You don't piss off mama. Teresa Tam, okay? She made a video back in 2010 stating that they had plans on doing the same thing. When the third wave or third jab was coming out, they're coming for the kids. If you refuse the third jab or the fourth one, or if you refuse to do what the government wants you to do, they're coming for your children, and they're taking them away, and they're going to take them to an internment camp, and you'll never see them again. That's what Trudeau's goal was. He's got corporate bankers. He's got corporate people that are looking forward to taking those little kids from you. Oh, they're going to be so fun to take and control. And they're going to use them for nasty things. Because he's part of the WE organization. He's part of the SNC-Lavalin. All that is baby stuff. All that is child pedophile. And you guys are going to get caught up in it. And you need to stop these guys. Okay? Yeah, and so Lois says, yes, and any other their dogs, if they have dogs or cats in their truck, they're taken, they are going to take, and if not collected within 8 days, they'll euthanize your dog. That protects your truck. The police, I'll tell you guys something here. The police don't want nothing to do with this. They don't really want to be part of it. Half of the force, now everybody's saying, I'm getting messages from people, 3/4 of the force have quit in Ontario. The OPP have walked away. They don't want nothing to do with this. They're saying this is crap. They're all going on sick leave or just leaving, period. They quit their jobs. There's RCMP that were sent up there to do what they want them to do. They even quit. We got RCMP up here that quit, went on sick leave. There's very few police here. We got the brand new Surrey police that were created by our mayor here in Surrey, Mayor McCallum, and every person he hired are either RCMP or failed servicemen of the police force at one time that all had a bad record. He hired them all back on, and he even refused to have them all take a lie detector test. Why? Because if the lie detector test picks up every lie that they have made, they can't get the job. They were never sworn in. We've got a corrupted mayor here in Surrey, British Columbia. Guess what? This man's under investigation now, and he's going to go too. So we've got mayors, not just we got mayors. We got a mayor in Calgary, a corrupt one. We got a mayor in Edmonton. We got some of our premiers. Jason Kenney of Alberta, he's gone. He'll be taken out. He's taken away. He's history. We got a real dumb, crazy ass BC premier. He'll be gone. Ontario, Doug Ford, you don't realize where you're going, bud. Those bars are going to be so shiny staring at you. You wish you should have listened to your daughter. You should have listened to your daughter. Whether how bad it was in the past, you should listen to your daughter because your daughter was right. She knows exactly what the truth was. And you decided to take the contract 2 years previously before, and you took the contract to make all those floor stickers And you knew what they're for because you asked, and you went along with it because they gave you millions and millions of dollars. You're the most richest premier in Canada right now today. The richest. You've already hit a billionaire because Trudeau kept you busy for the 2 years to make all those floor stickers. And any of the companies that actually were pre-ordered. When we're going into lockdown for the very beginning of the COVID times, those stickers are already waiting to be placed out the floor. They're already in the offices upstairs in the corporate stores, waiting to come down, to be placed on the floor for the night shift, to place them on the floor. They're already preset. Get it, guys? You guys don't get it. This is a germ warfare. It has always been. It's a depopulated warfare. Their goal is to remove us off this earth, to remove us completely non-existent. Get it? If you think this is racial, that's a distraction to make the government look good. Nothing but distraction. Because the main goal was, Bill Gates and Fauci had stated, this is our time to depopulate the world. And that's exactly what they did. They started off making the procedure back in 2017. And they said, this is our time. Prepare for the next couple of years to have everything in place. And that's exactly what they did. And every premier and prime minister and president, besides Trump never got along with it, never went along with it. Everyone else went along with it. And guess what? Every citizen in every part of the country, every part of the world are fighting back their freedom. Because they're all told that this is a world, that our world is dying, that Earth is sick. Gaia, horse crap. Gaia is very, very doing quite well. It takes humankind to destroy it. We will do stupid shit, as in, yeah, you may do some harm in some areas of the earth, but it healed itself. That's why we're brought here, to learn to give back. We've never destroyed the world. If the world goes on its own, it's supposed to go because it's the way it's supposed to go. But they come up with a line to say, oh, the world's coming to an end. Look. Oh, look at the environment. Oh, look at this. Who made it up? The corporate businesses made it up. They made it up a long time ago. There's recordings of it. There's written words about it. Even in the book itself that's written. 1984. Okay? Read the books that were brought out about this. This is all been set in play. Have you guys noticed that Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates are not around on TV or radio or in the media? Have you noticed they're not around? Guess what? They've been walked away. Have you noticed that Hollywood people, they have not been bringing out any Academy Award-winning movies for the last couple of years? It wasn't because they were locked down in their home. They were locked down away, far away, to a place called Guantanamo Bay because they were involved with a child pedophile organization. But have you noticed this world is not the same as it was before, over 2 years ago? We don't have what you guys once had. You once had every spoiled freedom you've always wanted. Do whatever you want. You've forgotten. You've forgotten what it's like to be free. You took advantage of being just do whatever you want. Harm whoever you want. Get away with whoever you want. Thought you can get away with it. And you know why sometimes you think you can get away with things? Because if the government agrees with you, they'll help you get you out of trouble. If they needed you, you owe them a debt. If you're a good guy, they make sure they can shut you up. Think about it. That's exactly what some of these premiers and prime ministers did. You know, Jagmeet Singh, he's an NDP leader. Jagmeet Singh is actually was connected to the Air India bombing when it happened here in BC, outside of BC here. He's part of it. He got pardoned. His country does not want him anywhere near India. He's on his own here. He can't go back because they already know what he did. He killed over 250 plus people in that plane and many families destroyed. And yet he's your representative as a MP NDP. You guys just don't care. You guys just don't understand. Open your eyes. And if anybody in the chat room is asking me, well, how do you know? Because I do my research. I've got so many things sent to me from great people. The Special Alliance, they send me all these great intel. They're sending me, and then I get sent the information. Derek, you got to see this. You know, Justin Trudeau, you think he's clean? He's not. I have told you guys this before, and some of you actually come in the chat for the very first time. Thank you. Trudeau is not clean. He's raped and pillaged children for many years. In fact, even Robert Picton's farm, the piggy ranch, he's been there many times. He's robbed and pillaged. He's been there many times. There's pictures of him everywhere in that place, and he's always doing this stuff. He's got a bad thing. Is that you guys don't realize anybody's corrupt, they're going to protect him. Our people's banks accounts frozen on here. In the next couple of days, they're giving you guys a heads up. Take your money out. Any corporate banks, take your money out. Put your money. If you're going to put money in the bank, put it in a savings bank, like any bank that actually has like a savings bank. Like if you're a shareholder, that sort of thing. That's not a corporate bank. Those are just, you're a member of a bank, but you are also a shareholder. So like there's a bank that I use, it's called the Westminster Savings. So basically, well, they changed the name now, but anyways, I get my money's protected there. I'm going to tell you guys a story. I'm sure I've told this before. Even I had a banker one time that I didn't even know who the hell he was. He was electively selected to come in to be our banker. The guy was 6'6". And this about happened, about over a year ago. And everybody always has these rules. You got to wear a mask coming into the bank or any building. I refused. And I had my exemption on my tag right in front of me. And I said, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm mask exempt. I'm going to get my money. My banker came out and yelled at me. Treated me like I was a piece of shit. How dare you put on a mask? Just give me loud. Just calm me down because he's 6'6", thinks he's going to come on and pick on me. I'm twice his age. And he's going to come out on me and treat me like I'm a piece of crap. I'm a shareholder in that bank. And I said, who in the hell do you think you are? So let me tell you something, boy. And I did say boy because he was acting like a boy. And I said, let me tell you something. Number one, you don't have to force me to wear anything. That's not a law. Yes, you have to wear this. And he grabs the thing and shoves it in my face. I said, put that thing down. You're insulting me. You're assaulting me right now with that thing. I said, get away from me. So in the meantime, he started yelling. He says, okay, that's it. I'm going to get the banker to take all your money out of your account. I'm going to hand your money back to you and never come back here again. I says, you touch my money without my permission? That's called extortion. I will come after you. I'll have you arrested and taken to jail, and you'll never get out because extortion is like robbery. You'll never have a job. So you make that decision now. He turned around, walked away into his office and closed the door. He slammed his door. I went to the counter, grabbed my money, and I left. That's what I'm trying to point out, folks. Yes, it's true. In the chat room, yeah, Castro loves little boys and little girls. He's as bad as you say. He's bad. Like, here's the thing: we can put the word out. Here's what thing really gets me. We've already put the word out what he is. It's all over Canada. Everybody knows what he's a pedophile, right? Everybody knows that, but nobody's confronting him. Our government and the media, mainstream media, is not even saying a word. Why? Because he paid $600 million, and he said, "I paid $600 million to manipulate and to control the media." That $600 million was not his money. Do you guys realize that $600 million was our tax money that he gave them to call it hush-up money? That's exactly what our mainstream media did. They hushed up. So there are radio stations that did not agree. There's not some radio stations. There's some people that I know of that work for radio stations that did not agree for what their station was doing. TV stations, radio stations, did not agree. They even quit their job, or forced to quit their job, or even got fired because they questioned their own bosses. Right? So Blair says, I tried to switch banks, Van City, but I have to get new IDs, but I don't want to get ID until this is all over. I would say as soon as you possibly can to get new ID, as soon as you can, because Trudeau is going to make sure that you have no identification to get anything. So you always have to have as much identification as possible. Fidel Castro actually had an affair with Margaret. Margaret was lonely because his father is gay, and so is Trudeau. Both of them both are gay. The kids are rented. They're not real. Those aren't his real kids, by the way. Never have been. Both father and son are gay. That's just the way it is, and always has been. The other brother, the half brother, he doesn't like what Trudeau has done. He doesn't like it. He doesn't even like what his brother has done. And he told him, you shouldn't do this. Stop. He wants him to quit. Trudeau wouldn't back down. As far as he was concerned, to him, that's money. He wants to control the world. He wants to be king. He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the dictator. So, Okay. So here's the thing that, like I said before, from the beginning of the show, there's one of the ladies is in Parliament too, and she's First Nations herself. She was trying to accuse the truckers as being racists and that hated Indians, or they hated the First Nations, which is not entirely true at all whatsoever. She's trying to make people believe that this is a racial thing, that we are people don't realize there's about 50%, probably about half, are Indigenous people that are there supporting the Freedom Convoy there. But they're making it look, because there's one woman who's actually from Winnipeg, she's want everybody to believe in Parliament that the soldiers of Odin and the Yellow Jackets, which are actually Antifa, are helping the convoy. I don't think so, because number one, the Yellow Jackets, or the Antifa, they work for the ex-premier of Alberta. Okay? Did you guys know that? There's a woman who actually was once the premier before Jason Kenney, and she became the new leader of Antifa. Did you know that? And then she realized after, if Kenney has to go, she wants to get back in. Hopefully she can get back in there again. No, she's not, because they're going to scoop her up too. Okay? I'm not kidding you guys. This is bigger than you and I. Antifa works for Trudeau. Antifa actually was hired by Soros from the very beginning. At the very beginning, he was paying them $15 an hour to do all the destruction they want. And the government's not supposed to do a thing about it. Oh, well, they can have it. Right? Not Christy Clark. No. Not the Premier BC. I'm talking about the Premier of Alberta. Okay? Premier of Alberta. She, so I'm not sure if I should mention her name, but you can mention it if you want to. Okay. We've got some sad news. Some of our truckers actually were verbally threatened by the OPP, or I'm not sure who these people are. Some of the truckers are forced to leave or told if they don't leave, they're going to actually seize their truck and lose their license and never be able to drive again. They gave them, I guess, some sort of fake seizure piece of paper. One trucker left scared. In fact, he wouldn't even talk to a lot of the guys that were part of the freedom thing. He just got up and drove out. I guess whatever they told him scared him. And this is the thing, folks. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And like even Pat King or anybody else that's part of the freedom movement. Try not to be alone. Try not to allow yourself to stay that you have to stay alone. You know, if you're not in this alone, you're in this as a family. You know, everybody has to understand one thing. We're all in this together. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if you're double, triple, quadruple vaxxed or you're not vaxxed. It makes no difference. It's our freedoms are important. If you guys want to see yourselves wearing a mask the rest of your life, you want to see yourself being 6 feet apart the rest of your life, if you want to see yourself no longer talk to your family ever again and not even have relationships at all, period, go ahead. Then basically your life is in a shambles. But if you think it's going to get better because you want the government to control and tell you what to do, then you're just a follower. You just give in. You're scared little puppy that doesn't know what to do. You want your mommy to take care of you. And if your mommy's not living in this world right now, or your dad, no disrespect, and you're on your own, you should be responsible as an adult. Because if you got kids of your own, you know very well that you have to protect them. If you think the government can do anything to you, whatever they want, they can't. The government can't do crap. They can't. There's no law that tell they're making up laws that are lies. They're not even a law. They're called lies. You got your Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You got your Nuremberg Code 2.0. Okay. You got other laws that protect you as well. Under the Geneva Convention, as soon as Trudeau called it a war, now you citizens of Canada and as well as the United States, you're under the Geneva Convention. It is a fact that you're protected. If anyone breaks that Geneva Convention, which is Trudeau, that is military arrest. They can. That's why do you think the military is not even helping Trudeau? He says, "You're going to be. I want you out there to arrest all these people. If my officers can't do it, you're going to go out to do the job." No, they turned him down. You know why? Because they know very well he's corrupt, and they don't want to ruin their reputation. They don't want to see it like another Cuba or another Brazil. They don't want that. No, they're saying the Emergency War Act has to be approved within 7 days, or no, he did it right away. Of course, he's a dictator. No, he actually made it as an act himself personally. The cabinet did not agree. Nobody in cabinet actually voted for the Emergency War Act. He did. Nobody else did. He said everybody else did. Nobody did. Not one iota of a MP voted for the Emergency War Act, because there is no Emergency War Act, folks. None. Never will be, because we're not going to war. We're not bringing out weapons. We're not attacking with weapons. If you think hugging people is a war, if you think actually loving people is a war, active war, you see children jumping up and down in air-inflated castles and having fun, call it a war. Trudeau is out of his freaking tree. I don't know what the hell he's been smoking, but he's also the one that actually approved the marijuana. So it's okay to have marijuana, lots of it, but it has to be made by him. Like the government owns the rights to the marijuana, but you can't grow your own. But they can do all that. But they're the ones that get to put the chemicals in there too, to make sure that you don't get better. Think about it, folks. Nothing's perfect. You don't get things that you think you get your freedoms. You don't. They're controlling your freedoms. They're telling you what they say. They're saying words to make you believe your freedoms are there. They'll say, well, if you go home now, then we'll talk about this. If you go home now and abide by the rules that we're telling you, then this will be over. No, it's not. Because Trudeau had a plan. His plan was to keep you guys going until 2025. Did you know that? He was making sure that he used up all of the jabs before, by the end 20, which is 2026. He wanted to keep you in the hole, poor, for another 3 more years. That was his goal. So by that time, most people either commit suicide or they'll end up doing more fighting. Right? So I like to see everybody. Thank you guys for being part of the chat room. Those are actually in the Facebook as well as the YouTube. Yeah, like and share me as much as you guys can. Pass it around, let people know what's going on. I'm voicing my own voice. This is what I'm doing. I see what I see. I share what I share through my research, who I speak to, who I hear from, and again, I get my intel from, whether it's from local people, but I also get my intel from a higher source. Okay, real intel. Now, I want to share with you guys. You guys may not know what's happening in Australia, but Australia has come up with the police or military. No, I say police. They have this machine that they decided to bring out, and they're using it on the protesters in Australia. One of our good friends in the chat room, Wendy Scott, who's actually originally from Australia herself, on the area of Canberra, they're using a machine called the LRAD, where they basically, this machine is meant to distort your brain and cause skin conditions. So basically, it's a high frequency machine, and it's shaped like a box, and they shoot it back at you whether you're out in protest, and they can turn to the highest frequency of all can. They can destroy your eardrums to the point that you can't even hear, period, and could distort you to make you either pass out or even kill your brain. Like basically, they can make your brain explode. Okay. And also, if you are fighting, you try to fight it, that sound barrier, then your skin starts to get red and burn. That basically has two elements that come from it. I've got photographs of people's face all burning out here, blistery, all over their body parts. It looks like a giant heat ray at them. And these are people that are protesting peacefully in Australia, are getting hit with it. There's one truck driver who actually was wanting to get the attention of the police. He wasn't harming anybody, but they're going to drive up to the parliamentary building to have a chat with their prime minister there. And the police, the guy was safe. He wasn't hurting nobody. The police ran up to the truck, smashed the window, pepper sprayed the driver while the driver's still moving. Okay, pepper sprayed the driver while the driver's still moving, and they hit him in the face with a billy club, handcuffed him, and took him to jail. They beat the living crap out of the driver while it's still moving. Okay, they didn't have to do that. Anytime those police officers do harm to people, those officers are the ones that got paid off. Those officers are going to be the ones that are going to jail. They'll be doing time under military tribunal. Okay? So no matter what part of the country you are, no matter what part of the world you're from, that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm not kidding you guys. This is what's going to happen. This is like I said before. This is up in Australia. Like I said, this machine, and why I'm bringing this up, because Trudeau is talking about bringing these LRAD machines here to stand outside, to be placed outside of our parliamentary building as well, all over Ottawa, anywhere where our convoy is settled. They're going to set up all these LRAD machines. There's a video on it. If you guys don't know what it is, just type in the word LRAD and on YouTube, and you'll see what it is. It's high pitching, and it can do some major harm to your ears. It's meant for war. It meant to be used on the enemy when you're gone to war. It has nothing to do, or anybody's like, if anybody creating a violent attack, the SWAT teams, or any kind of, I guess we'd say the police has a special force that if you're actually going to do any major violent protests, they did use this LRAD machine on the Antifa people in the United States, and it was successful in some of the areas. It stopped them from actually breaking in the buildings and doing destruction. There's a difference between destruction and peacefulness. And so the police are getting away with it. And the same thing in Canberra. They even in the cabinet, they even asked the chief of police, was the LRAD machine used on the public during the protest? And he did not. He never said a word. He never denied it. He just kept avoiding the answer. But he's had a smile on his face. He smiled. He says, "Not to my knowledge." Watch the videos. You'll see he's a very evil man. Okay. Okay. And like I said before earlier, and one of our MPs, which is, she said that she fears for her life going into Parliament, or going into the building, before the building, on the grounds. She said that there was supposed to be large amounts of people that stood around her, and they're throwing human feces at her, which I don't believe. That's an absolute lie. But they wanted you to believe that, because once you say those things, then that's what your mainstream media does. They'll pick up that story and they'll say, what's going on here? No, the freedom fighters or the freedom people of freedom, they're actually going to throw feces at the bird. Look what they did. Well, and then they're going to start looking for excrement. You watch. They're going to be down there like, whoa, do you find it? No, but here. There you go. How about try that one? Take a picture of this one. Watch. Okay. Now, there's actually word that was going out the last few days, even longer than that. But I mean, the police kept on saying that they're going to threaten to arrest the truckers and take their kids. That ain't going to happen, because there's too many people out there right now that will be, they will never allow anybody to take anybody's kids. In fact, they can't. That's against the law. And they're trying to get the child protective agencies involved. Let's put it this way: if the child protective agencies ever did get involved by taking kids, they be in deep caca. Absolutely. Right. They are also in Parliament. They're saying that they're accusing the freedom truckers of anti-Indigenous racism, saying that our people all the people are violent to Indigenous people. Like I tell people, there's a lot of Indigenous people there, and they're all participating, helping out. Now, I was on Facebook today to see how Pat King is doing, just to update us, let us know what's going on in Ottawa. And I went to his page. Facebook locked it out. There's nothing in his page, completely blank, gone. So I'm not sure if Pat stopped it or that they did, one of the two, but it's gone, completely gone. I got a funny feeling that because I remember watching Pat King's videos, and I popped them in my own page. It's called the True North Strong and Free, the True North Strong and Free page on my Facebook, as well as on Telegram. And the one on Facebook that I took it from his page and dropped it in mine. And then today I looked in there and it was gone. So normally either Pat would not agree to keep it on, or he would remove it. But most time he would never do that. So that means that what Facebook is doing, because Pat King is connected to the Freedom Convoy, that they're removing anybody and everybody that's connected to it. They're shutting their pages down. Number one, folks, this is against the law by any means of any social network having shut anybody down, not allowing them to actually share any information what's going on across the world. We have that right. And they're calling it under their community standards. Now, there is a new group of people. They call themselves the gatekeepers in Facebook. Gatekeepers. Block them. Okay? They're part of Facebook. Facebook hired them to come after people, to basically see what you got, and they're called gatekeepers. Block them. and there's lots of them, by folks. Okay, gatekeepers or gateskeeper, no, gatekeepers or gatekeeper, but get rid of them. You need to block those out. Go into your settings and look for and look for blocking, and then type the word in gatekeepers and get rid of them. They're not good. They're nasty. Also, one of the guys that actually helped create the Freedom Convoy today was arrested by the OPP. He wasn't doing anything. He was just standing there talking to some people, and then the OPP came up to him and arrested him. And so he got handcuffed. And and here's the thing that gets me. I'm sorry, folks, but I got to say these words. Whoever video recorded him, Christopher Barber is the guy's name, that was arrested. Now, Christopher Barber, he doesn't do any harm. Christopher Barber gives a lot of legal advice. Legal advice. They arrested him to get him out of the way. Okay? But anyways, whoever this person was that recorded him, which is fine because you want to prove the fact that one of the convoy leaders are going to be, was taken to jail. The thing is, they can't keep him in there forever. Okay. Oh, Tamara was also arrested too. Yeah, see, they're coming after everybody, and they're probably going to come out and try and go after Pat King. They're trying to shut down them, and I tell people, you've got so many people that are backing you up. We've got a lot of. They also have a lot of hidden, non-named people that are in the background protecting. So if they figured if they get rid of the leaders of the convoy, they think there are the leaders. They take them out of there. They think they're gone. They're not. They're not gone. Okay, because there's people in the background that are also part of the group. There are not just 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Okay, there are 30 people plus helping in this. So Pat King also, people have all said, if anything happens to us, keep us going, and they did. So Trudeau can't stop anybody. You may think you're going to maintain these guys and hold them overnight. That doesn't scare them. They don't care, because let me tell you guys this: when you become a freedom fighter to help get freedom for your people, for everyone, these guys are not doing it because they're not looking for any kind of praise. They joined for one reason: to stop the tyranny of our government. That's what they're doing. They're tired of the bullcrap. Then it takes a corrupt politicians to sign this little groupie thing and say, okay, let's get these guys out of the way. Trudeau hired a hacker to come after other people's accounts and go after even into their bank accounts, and also they hired this hacker to go after the bank account, to go after the GoFundMe website. To hack it. They try to go after the one to how to hack it. Because they're making sure what gives them the right to hire someone to hack. And this guy was boastfully saying, well, Trudeau hired me and he wanted me to hack all this, so I got paid well, and I did it. And he thinks this is funny. The guy himself is actually a member of Antifa. Right? So they said James, Tamara, and Chris were arrested under mischief. Under mischief. Do you know what mischief is? Mischief can actually be, they can be arrested, and under the word mischief means they can serve 10 years, 5 to 10 years in prison. Yeah, GoFundMe was hacked. GoSendGo was also hacked. Yeah, that's the guy that hacked it. Trudeau actually hired him to hack him. The guy said, even himself, he was boastfully saying on a video that Trudeau hired him to do it. He says, I got in there, no problem, took the money and ran. Gave it to Trudeau. Trudeau's got it now. So he said, and I have it on my page on Trudeau Stronger Free. He's actually said it. He admitted it. He hacked them purposely because Trudeau hired him to do it. You see, Trudeau is not a military general. He is an insane politician. He's related. He's the son of Fidel Castro. Think about it, folks. This is the beginning of dictatorship. This is what this guy's doing. He's trying to harm everyone else's lives. Like, don't get worried about this. Like, don't get upset. Just say, you know what? Okay, we got more people backing us up. You know, I'll tell you guys how this works. And this is how my father taught me this, because he was in the military. When one soldier carries a flag in battle to fight a country or wherever their purpose is, and if that person carries the flag and it drops the flag and he gets killed, drops that flag, the guy behind him will grab that flag and still keep running, whether there's a gun in his hand or not. Okay? That's patriotism. No matter how many times that flag falls to the ground, there's always someone behind them who will pick up that flag and carry on. And that's exactly what we are doing. I'm just in the background. I'm a digital warrior. I tell the stories. I share the stories. I do my research, tell you exactly what's going on. And then you can listen to whoever comes in late into this chat rooms, watch the show. Watch what I'm sharing with you even earlier. Get an idea what's going on. Anything you see on TV is all lies. They're making up lies to make it bigger than what it is. Absolutely bigger than what it is. Someone made a video of Pat King. They're making it where Pat King was actually nothing but a shit disturber, and that he was all pro-white and the whole 9 yards. They cut little pieces of it out to make him look as I'm the man. No, he was talking about somebody else that was pro-white. He was breaking it down to the stories. But that's what they do. That's what mainstream media likes to do, or people they hire like to do. They put little pieces in there to make him look like he's the worst person in the world. Now, there's one part I really enjoyed at the end of the video, which was this big, huge guy was beating the crap out of an Antifa person, because the Antifa person actually hit the guy in the back of the head with a long stick, and the guy didn't go down, and he's twice his size. He got up and he went after the kid and beat the crap out of him. And Pat just said, we need guys like him. Enough is enough. Because Antifa were really bad guys. They were bad people. They're not, they keep on thinking Antifa is some sort of like divided organization. No, they're still part of they're all part of the Yellow Jackets. Same group. They just give them a different name. They carry these nasty Nazi flags. They made them up themselves. They use them under Nazism. That's not us. There's no Nazism in this group. None. Peaceful group. We are peaceful. Trudeau runs with the Nazis, folks. You guys get it? He's been running with the Nazis. He married one. He married the granddaughter of Hitler. Krista Freeland's actually his assistant, and she is actually related to another SS leader who actually was her grandfather. He was the one that put the people in the Auschwitz camp. And she's following the same thing. Krista Freeland is not good. She actually is a double agent for Ukraine. Do you guys know that? She's passes secrets back and forth. I got that intel from the military. By trying to share that with you guys on Facebook, gone. Not supposed to see that. Right? Why do you think I don't put the letters, I don't allow any lettering of words to come down that are anagrams to read what's in the bottom of the page on the screen? Do you know why? Because that's how the YouTube or any other company will pick up the words and they anagram you. And if they don't like what you're saying, then that's how they get rid of you. So that's why every time we have to confuse people by actually having to spell or separate the words. We have to stop being so scared of speaking up for our own truth. Right? Now, was Fifth Estate on today? Because because apparently Pat King said he was on Fifth Estate yesterday, or they interviewed him yesterday, but he also had his own recorder on, and the Fifth Estate did not do a good story about Pat King, and as well as the Freedom Convoy, that he will release the real one. that Fifth Estate may have cut and pasted. Right? Be careful, folks. Okay. So that was the interview about Fifth Estate. Corin says, okay, high-profile bands are going to be playing in Ottawa this weekend. Yes, they are. There's going to be a lot of cool people coming down that you guys don't know. It's going to be a big, huge event, and a lot of them are coming from across the border. Well-known people. Yes. Good. I'm glad he did. Show you the real, how he showed us the real one on his page today. Good. Thing is that they are going to try their damnedest to, again, you guys may not realize, I'm going to say this really, I like Pat King. And in my heart, I like the guy. I really do admire him for what he's doing. He's a father of 2 boys. He's divorced. No, not divorced, separated. I think separated, divorced, one of the two. Didn't choose that. His wife did. He works very hard to help everyone in this world. He loves his kids, his boys so well. He thinks those boys are his life. They were abused, and his wife got his boys to get the jabs without his own permission. And he was mad about that. He told her on no circumstances to get the boys ever get jabbed. She went ahead and did it. Okay. Oh, I see. So he gave it an extra extension name, the Real Pat King Restart. Okay, now we know. Because the other Pat King was gone. They just locked it out. So if anybody wants to find the Real Pat King Restart, Restart. Okay. So anyways, like I said before, he was mad about that, what his ex-wife had done. Now, she should know better herself, because now she's lessening the lives of the boys, because that's what that jab is doing. It's going to lessen their lives to the point these kids won't have a full life. What she really did is she sterilized them, because the second shot was to sterilize your life. That means you'll never be able to have kids. That's what the second shot was for. So I know Pat King's on Telegram too. What I had done, I was sending out some really great information to some of the people on Telegram about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and Telegram came back after me and told me I'm not allowed to pass any information to anyone ever again, that they locked me out. They said I was abusing it, which is not true. I never abused it. That means there's somebody got nasty and reported me, who I already know it's a mainstream media person, reported me, making me look as if I'm the bad guy. So yeah. So I'm trying to reason with Telegram so I can get a chance to talk to Pat in his page. I can't. They won't let me in. And I can't go any other page to talk to anybody. They won't let me in. They'll say, no, can't. Not allowed. Why? Well, you abused it. For what did I abuse? Sharing information. And sometimes I actually had some information from President Donald Trump to pass on to others, and they call that abuse. And it's not from Donald Trump. Okay. So let's see. You saw 2 videos from 2 convoy truckers tonight. The Emergency Act did not pass. True or false? The Emergency Act did not pass. No. According to them, it did not pass. He was trying to get it to pass, but again, it has to be passed by everyone, even the conservatives, and the conservatives refused. It was a huge debate, but some of these people in Parliament and some of the MPs were still giving their opinions, their own personal opinions, and still made themselves look as if they're the victim. My True North is still on my page on Telegram. It is. True North, Strong and Free. It's still my page. I own it. I can run it, no problem, but I can't take any of my own items, and I can't forward it to somebody else's page, like a group page. Won't let me. So if I'm sending it to another group who I thought was my friend, I found out later that was a fake group page that said they were part of the truckers thing. But I found out later they're not part of the truckers convoy. They were a fake truckers convoy, and they reported me. So that's how I lost my rights to pass on to groups. So you got to watch real careful. You got to make sure who is running those pages, because they will be setting up different fake pages. There actually was a page that said Pat King on one of the pages on Facebook, and it wasn't Pat King's. It was somebody else's. It had a picture of Pat King on there, but it was somebody else trying to beg for money, saying, "Oh, well, I'm here. I am Pat King, and we're doing really horrible here. I'm going to do some harm to you if you don't send me money." And they basically, when the real Pat King found out about this, that's why he calls himself the real Pat King. When he found out about this, he shut that down very quick. So there's always going to be somebody out there who's going to try to steal your, anything you do. You can support someone and they're going to try and go after you. That's why what Trudeau is trying to get you to do is to avoid talking to people, to avoid sharing anything. They want you to talk about kitty cats and puppy dogs. And that's it. Nothing more. But if your dog is in the truck, make sure it's not a convoy, according to them. So now we've got 3 people in jail. So I mean, I'm sure he's going to be sharing some great information soon. Let's see what else we got here coming up. Like I said before, guys, if you actually have Facebook, those who actually do Facebook, if you are sharing at all any of this information with anyone regarding what's going on, like if you actually are dedicating yourself as a digital warrior, make sure you go to your Facebook page, to your settings and your blocking page, and block the words gatekeepers, because they are the ones that are working for Facebook right now, and they're the ones that are trying to shut down your pages. What they're doing now, I actually had a lot of new members, and all of a sudden my membership went from up to I went from 300 to 350. Next thing you know, the next day I was back to 300 again. They took away those 50 members. They said, "No, I don't want." They made a decision. No, you can't have them. Why? Because they're doing exactly what you're doing. No, you're not accepted according to standards. So they're telling me how to control my page, right? And that's exactly what Telegram was beginning to do. They're trying to tell me what I can or cannot do. Well, I'm not abusing anything. I said to them, I wrote back to them and says, "What do you guys like, another Facebook? If you're going to try and tell me what I can or cannot do, then this is not a freedom of speech anymore." Okay, it says here, okay, but just been talking with Debbie and Nancy's daughter about everything going on. Okay. Thank you, Clark. Grandma Nancy has been getting misinformation sent to her from a young lady. I'm not going to mention her name, telling her that Pat King spoke terribly of the First Nations people, that he was being a racist, and that he got a medicine pipe. They call it the peace pipe, and they did a ceremonial with it, and now they say he's officially a pipe carrier and the whole thing. No, that's all misinformed. There's a video of it, yes, but he was gifted the pipe. But they said later on, the medicine man was blessing it that day to let the people know that he's receiving it. Doesn't mean he can't use it. Okay, he's not going to use it. Pat King carried it. It was an unexpected gift that was given to him by the chief and medicine men. There's a lot more people there from that territory that gifted him the medicine pipe. And he never ever mentioned Grandma Scaney being in a bad way. I'm sorry, not a bad way. He never spoke badly of her whatsoever, none whatsoever. But this woman on the phone that's recorded saying that he did, and he never did. So I already know full well that after this whole protesting is over, he's going to make his trip down to go see her in person. Everyone knows that she wasn't feeling well. That word was out. Okay. He supported her 100%. He was actually out there every day with her, helping her out during the Edmonton situation with the Queen's I forgot the paper now what it was called. And it was a document, and it's all to do with the land belongs to the First Nations people, the whole 9 yards. She was part of it since back in the early 80s. So he was there supportively helping her out. And they were there. I mean, there was no protest. They're there to let the Parliament know to open the doors so they can actually say, here's presentation, The Queen's bargain. Thank you very much, Corlin. The bargain. So you can tell he is caring. I mean, but you guys need to know this too. Pat King is not white. Pat King is Ojibwe. Okay? He's First Nations himself. When a First Nations man wears a beard does not make him not First Nations. That makes sense, folks? Pat King is from the Ontario region. He is Ojibwe. His grandmother was on the reserve. She left her daughter left the reserve, never stayed there. So Pat King's not reservation. Okay? So Pat King is not. This is where I get kicked out of people. Anybody who's First Nations who don't know anything about Pat, and the first thing you look at the guy, oh well, he's Muño. Muño as a Cree means white. He's not. Cree looks white, but he's not. Pat King is just as much as I am. He's half and half, or he's more 3/4 than half. Right? So, I wasn't born in the reserve, but I've experienced all in my youth when I was 6 years old. My first powwow I went to when I was 6 years old. They were hiding the powwows from the government secretly back in the 1960s. Okay? 1962, when I was at my first powwow, a Lakota powwow in Manitoba, Griswold. Okay, they called Griswold back then. I'm not sure it's called now, but I was there, and I danced there with my sister in front of the teepees. Then the preacher showed up, the Catholic priest in the black robe showed up with 4 RCMP, guns a-blazing, pow, 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 everybody go home, pow, pow, pow. RCMP, bullies all can be. I didn't understand. I'm standing there in front of the TV like, what's this? Like, I'm just a little 6-year-old. You're just a kid. I'm an innocent. I remember the words my mother said. The priest grabbed me by the arm. I said, I felt this pain in my shoulder when he grabbed me. He says, who does this child belong to? And like this blasphemous child belonged to. And he had me and he gripped his thumb into my shoulder, my cup of my shoulder blade. It hurt. And he went just threw me, apparently pushed me real hard to my mother. And he says, you get him out of here. You don't belong here. You're not one of them. My mother says, yes, I am. Oh, you are? Are you living on the reservation? No, get out. Or you go to jail. And this is a preacher. This is a priest, Catholic priest. They're awful. Did you know, folks, that the Catholic priests controlled the law? They controlled the RCMP. Do you know the Catholic priests have more say? They can actually order your arrest over an RCMP. Did you know that? A Catholic priest can call the RCMP and have you charged for whatever they want to charge you for, and you go to jail with no lawyer, because they control they control the house of God. They control the courts. They have the say in courts. They can tell a judge where to go. That's why you never see a priest go to jail. Okay? Think about it. So, Pat has already proven himself. He's already told the media, the mainstream media, who he is, where he's from. He already told APTN, the Average People's Television Network. He already told them who he is, where he's from. They checked him out, and they did it. They actually secretly did the research on him. Okay, they checked out Pat, his history, and they know they had nothing on him. They had to leave him alone because they knew he was right, but they wouldn't say or accept or admit the fact that he was First Nations. They didn't admit that. They didn't say a word. All they said was, well, we questioned him if he was any Indigenous in him. They questioned him. Okay, that's exactly what they did. So as often as I try to keep you guys up to par and up to date what's going on here, same thing with the Catholic organization. The Catholic, they're all gone. All the you guys may not know this. Some of you do know this. The Pope is gone. He's been taken away. All the cardinals are gone. They're gone. Most of these people there. That here's what gets me. I laugh at this part. I mean, no disrespect, but a lot of our people are saying, "Well, I want to meet the Pope and I want to tell him off of what they did to our people in residential schools." You can't, because the Pope is not alive. He's a CGI right now. The Pope is only a CGI or an actor in a mask. That was proven. The real one was already executed. He was already taken away to Guantanamo Bay. He's been gone for. That man's been dead since I think it's early 2020. Yeah, about early 2020. He was already taken out. So were the Cardinals, all the baddies. Those are people that are all sacrificed babies and children, and kids. So they're gone. They call them the Red Shoes, So their history, and yet the public here. I'm trying to explain to the people here. You guys don't realize if you're expecting an apology from the Pope. Good luck. You might as well just dig the dirt and pull him up. But his body's not there. Even the Vatican's been closed down. It's in darkness. It's all boarded up. No one gets to go in the Vatican. There's nothing there. It's empty. It's been destroyed. And it's going to be, apparently the Vatican's going to be no longer Vatican. Yeah. There's a special group of forces coming in. They're going to gone. Over and done with. Because they have to. Because they're corrupt. Yep. Yeah, Paul McCartney, the real Paul McCartney's been dead since 67, 68. There was a pool party that took place in England. I think it was Kent. And there was a big pool party, and a few people were there. Mick Jagger was there, and his girlfriend. Mick had something to do with it. So basically, when Paul did not agree with the satanic idealisms of this record label, Paul did not agree, so they got rid of him, and he was replaced by another actor that looked like him. So that's how it works. Yes, they use fireworks as demolition. That's true, they do. So you can't even tell if it went up, or then they'll say, "Oh, it was an accident. It just went up or down." Yeah. There is a lot of things that are going on, folks, that we may not realize, that most people don't realize. Yeah. So, anyways, let me update you a little bit. Also, President Donald Trump, actually, will be hearing from him very, very soon. He'll be coming out soon. You'll be hearing from him. Now, I actually have people actually talk to me about supposed to be a queen in Canada. Not Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth's already gone too. She's history. This other queen that's supposed to be our queen, or supposedly she's been electively to take care of our country. There have been so many people. I think the biggest mistake that she had done is coming down a couple of weeks back. She decided to show up with some of her peoples in a van, and she decided to burn a flag on the street, Canadian flag. Number one, folks, I don't care if the Canadian flag is a corporate flag or not. The fact is, it's a flag that people are actually standing under right now because they're believing that's exactly what they have. That it basically represents strength in your family. It represents togetherness and love. Whether it's red and white and with a maple leaf, it still represents a country, or a place that we call country of Canada. Even though Canada may not be a country, but because it lost itself as being a country since 1984. It went bankrupt, so it's no longer a country. But we are still, as we believe, this is all going to be shared to us later on down the road. But at the moment, this queen, When I questioned her on Telegram, I got kicked out. Did you know that? Yep, I went to try and send her questions about, you know, what this means and if what she's going to be able to do. And I questioned her. And then I guess what it was, she must have got sick and tired of me questioning her. And I got kicked out of the room, so I got banned from there. So Queen Ramana is not as nice and graceful as you think she is. Yes, she's losing a lot of followers because she's not, like I said before, she was only placed there for a reason, was to give people hope. But the mistake she's doing is I don't care if it's Trump or not that actually said to her, told her to do this or not. But the fact is, what you don't do, because this is what the Canadian government wanted. You burn a Canadian flag, you became a mob. Okay, that's what the Antifa people were doing in the States when they were on the streets. They're burning American flags. And what they end up doing, in the end, they got arrested. Okay, it is illegal to burn a flag in public in front of people. It is. It's a law. And the thing is that the mistake that she made was having to burn that flag in front of us. You can burn the flags all you want behind your own damn doors, but right now the public were not ready to see that flag burn. You know, they tried to do the same thing in another country, in the Barbados, and they changed that flag from the British flag to a Commonwealth flag to their own flag, their own country flag, which is fine. We had a British Commonwealth flag in our country back in 1966, 67, 66. I remember seeing that flag get changed. Or 65, somewhere on there. They changed that flag. I was there when they changed that. Went from a British Commonwealth flag to the Canadian flag, the new version of it. They had no idea what the hell they're going to make, what the hell it was they're going to be using. They're just coming up all kinds of ideas. Well, let's design this new one. I don't even know why they even changed it to the other one before, but they did, right? And the thing is that, yeah, you can watch and learn what she does, or what she says, but she's too slow to listen to. And then what I think the biggest, stupidest thing I saw her do, someone tried to make her a chair to look like it's a throne. Honest to God, when I saw that, I went, are you freaking nuts? I'm not going to bow my head to you and call you queen. That's why we left the other queen. There's no monarch in our country. I will not bow my head to you as if I'm groveling at your feet. Enough is enough. We've dealt with generations upon generations for hundreds and hundreds of years of people trying to control the world, and especially with kings and queens. Give me a freaking break. Are we that stupid? Are you guys that dumb to bow your head to the floor? Oh, she's the queen. I don't think so. The only king that I see that's in that I really would bow my head to, him up there. That's the king. Okay, he's the king. He's the one that guides us, helps us, not her. Not her. She can show us what we can do. She can let us know what's going to be offered to us, what we'll be able to have. Wonderful. She could have said, well, I'm here because, whoever's brought me here, told me to represent this. I'm a representative for this group. I'm here to give you guys a hand and show you exactly what's going on. We would listen. No problem. But you had to announce yourself as a queen. If you really want to get serious, here's how I can get serious. My dad, and I told you guys this before, some of you act not. My father is myself, personally. Okay, myself. I am my great-grandfather. Great-grandfather. Yeah, my great-grandfather is the King of Austria. Or was the King of Austria. The original king, not the queen, not the king that took over after him, but the original King of Austria. His last name was Alexa, and he was the king. If you want to get technical, I can actually turn around and say, "Hey, I'll take Canada. I'll be the new king," because it's not a country, so I can actually claim it. I have royal blood. I don't care. It's land, folks. The king is up there. The real king is up there. That's your king. He guides you and tells you what you need to do. He'll show you what you need. If you need guidance, talk to him. Your queen is Mary Magdalene. She'll help you too. She married him. That's your true king and queen. They've been helping you for generations upon generations. Generations. Thousands of years. Right? If I took claim of this country, oh boy. Oh, I have so many security guards, so many big guys. I'll have to hire Pat King to be my head security. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I would have great advisors. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, no one really needs a king or queen to run a country. They really don't. I mean, all it really takes is a parliamentary group of people, not even someone who's bigger than. It's almost like a CEO, like it just takes a group of people to vote, not, like, would you agree, disagree? But not just a few people, not like, 5 or 6 in a group. I'm talking about representatives of other areas. You don't need a mayor, this and, that person, that. You can work some things out where you can say, we have some ideas we'd like to try out. What do you guys think of this? And if it's all available, right? Yes, you did. You walked with her. You were part of one of her groups, Corlin. You did walk with her, and she was showing you things. Most people don't realize that Mary Magdalene had a lot of women that walked with her, and they were well known for helping people to believe in God more. Like that's what basically what's going on. You're surprised that Pat King said he's disabled, said he only has one leg. Yeah, he's got one leg. Yeah, he lost a leg in an accident. He doesn't like to talk about it, but yeah, he lost his. He's down to his knee, like it's from the knee down. I'm not sure if it was diabetes but he lost it. Yeah, this is a one-legged man. Now he could have been. He could. Pat King could be a pirate. Put a peg leg on there and he'd be funny. Be cute. No, he's a really nice guy, whether he's missing a leg or not. He's doing his darndest to help. He's been involved trying to help people like us for the last few years, more than just way before the COVID thing. He's been out there trying to help us out and to basically resolve and solve our problems in our country. And he's just trying so hard to help, and others, those who actually listen to him or hear him say, here's what his goals are, like that he likes to share with you and let you know what's going on. He would never lie to you. He never has lied to anybody. Yeah, the truckers need help, and a lot of our truckers here in Surrey, British Columbia, here are not just truckers. So protesters this last week got arrested. A couple of days ago, they were protesting. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were standing outside the street, and they got. They said they actually arrested over 100 people. I don't believe that. The media will always say, "Oh, there's so many of them. They arrested over 100 people." Lucky me, 10. And they were doing. I saw the video. They were doing a "Oh Canada" song. They were singing, and then they walk up to the RCMP and they're shaking their hands as they're singing the song, and they shook their hands back and they were patting each other down. I think it was great. Okay, yeah, he lost a leg in a car accident. There you go. So yeah, they all got along, and then this other new group of people, they were police officers. There were another militarized group came in, and they arrested those people that they just finished singing "Oh Canada" with. So, and they'll say, "Oh, you're gonna have a criminal record, and we won't be able to leave the country." No, you'll be able to leave. Let's put it this way: Trump himself even agreed, what we have done, having to stand up for our rights as a citizen of our country, as people. And I tell people this, like, when you come across when you are dealing, we're always given an opportunity, and it's civil disobedience. we don't agree with something, you have civil disobedience. We've had civil disobedience even on reservations. Reservations that when they're trying to protect the land, their territory, and they're say for the um, oh my God, First Nations. I can't remember the name all of a sudden, but they were trying to protect their land. They never gave permission for the forestry to come in and start clear cutting their land. The forestry, they didn't. And so they decided to protest and they stood up against them. And there actually was one police officer that was First Nations himself, and he was the brother to two of the sisters that were on the protest line. And no, sorry, the two aunties that were on the protest line. And the aunties told him, if anybody's going to arrest us, I want you to arrest me. So, you know, they did. He arrested his own aunties, but in the end, he realized after he didn't have to be RCMP. He realized that there were so many laws that were broken that, and the government, again, government has a way of being sneaky and trying to steal land from under you. And I can tell you stories about that. So many people I know personally had their land stolen out from under them. They would go to church, come home, their house is burnt down. The government burned the house down to make sure they didn't have the land back. That's how they did to First Nations people all the time. If the government wants your land, they'll say, "Oh, we want you to meet up with us. We'll negotiate something." So you end up going to their office. You come back to your house. Your house is burnt down. Well, you can't live here now. There's no house here. So now you have to move. And that's exactly what they do, and they're doing it right now. They've been burning houses down. That's how corrupt our government is. They do this all the time. All the time. They want something bad enough, they'll burn your house down. Whether you're in it or not. They don't care. But not anymore. Not anymore. No more houses being burnt down. The last person to be burning down a house or think is going to try and burn down a house is Trudeau. He's the last of the house burner. Anyways, if anybody wants to call in to get a reading, you're more than welcome to, guys. Pardon me. 360-566-2875. That's 360-566-2875. Or if you have any questions regarding this, what I've been talking about this evening, you're more welcome to ask. I'll give you guys a number on the other chat room. Yes, it is. Yeah. So if you want to find out what else is going on, or any questions you want to ask us regarding what's going on regarding the, or I've actually had one person ask me, how long is this going to last? Everyone's going to keep on asking me that same question. I don't know. Well, I can tell you this: we're that close. We're so close to being over, because right now, one thing I was warned ahead of time, and they said this: once the government starts going after your bank accounts and freezing your money, that's the time that you have to start saving your money, get your money out of the bank. And I will say this: it'll only last for no more than a couple of weeks. So you got at least no more than 2 weeks to hold out until Mr. T is out the door in chains. Okay. This is where I was understanding it. Because he is I will stay with that part, because that's what I'm feeling. It's almost like when I saw him being handcuffed I actually saw him being handcuffed in council. Like, he wasn't handcuffed outside. He was handcuffed in council. So it would be a couple more weeks, at least 10 days to 2 weeks. I'm just telling you guys, hold out for at least 2 more weeks. It shouldn't happen. It should not extend any longer than that. But you'll be shown, because what may happen, and I will be honest with you guys, what may happen is martial law. Okay. When martial law comes in, if it is passed, martial law, that's where the military comes in. And if the military do come in, don't worry. The military is on your side. That means they're protecting you. But if they're asking you to stay in your homes or stay at home for a while, for a few days or so, stay at home, because you have to be, and I'll tell you why, because what's going to happen, they may end up turning off the cable or electricity or something. They're going to try to take out television completely, switch it over, and they're going to show you the military tribunals, and Justin Trudeau will be in that tribunal, being charged for crimes against humanity and treason. Okay, I'm not kidding you. This is we're that close, so close. And what it says today is a 17, which is a very important number. Okay, 17 today. That's the awakening. This is the major awakening for everybody to wake up. The real Trudeau is already gone, but this one here has to be seen by the public to be taken out. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The real JT is already in Guantanamo Bay, but this one here is his body double, and he will be taken away. The public has to see him being arrested. Okay. My phone number, 360-566-2875. 360-566-2875. Thought I put my number in there. On this one, on the screen here. Let's see here. There we go. Cling. Yep. That's the number. Let's see. Get some books. I'll give up my love of TVs. Show to everybody to watch proper military tribunals. Yeah. Again, once you see this, folks, and the tribunals will be on for 3 days, if I understand it, or it could be weeks worth. Hard to say, but like they will have approximately about 250,000 plus people. There'll be 300 judges involved. So it's going to be a long. Area code 604. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. 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 Can you hear me? Can't hear anybody. Hello. Oh, they must have hung up. Oh. Area code 604.
Hi.
Hi.
There.
Hang on.
It's Blair.
Hang on, Blair.
Hi.
My phone suddenly just stopped. Hang on just 1 second. Don't freeze.
Okay.
Hang on. Why it's not matching up. So hang on, my dear.
I'm moving away from. Hi.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Do it one more time. Call me back again.
Okay.
Okay. I think what's happening is yes. Oh, that's why it wants. That's why they weren't wanting me to do that. They're setting up the updating. Okay, that makes sense. Skype was updating. There we go. Try again. Skype is updating. That's what they're doing. They updated the screen. Okay. Call again. You should be able to get in now, Blair. There we go.
Is it working?
Yeah, what happened was that when I was answering it, Skype was updating Skype. It wanted to update, like, update now. I'm going like, no, and I kept on stopping it. No, you have to update now. No, I don't. It's like it always, they'll do that when you're doing a show, but when you're not doing anything, they're like, oh, it's okay, do your thing.
Yeah. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Okay.
One thing was about Queen Ramona. I'm really embarrassed that I believed her, but she helped me out with some bills.
Well, I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying that I did not agree with what she did by burning the Canadian flag in the street.
No, not at all.
Like, it's one of the biggest mistakes she made. I could see that if she showed up on the street and asked if she can actually get the microphone and introduce herself and this is who I am, that I've been in, like, that this is what I've been doing for helping people out or helping give them some support during the COVID times, then I can understand that part, because here I am. But the mistake she made was, instead of her standing in the street and then burning a flag, nobody can hear her talking anyways, because her little groupies are around her and nobody knew who she was. A lot of people don't know who Ramona is. So here's a Filipino woman burning a Canadian flag.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, that's not, it doesn't
like,
matter who it is.
Yeah, whether like some people think, well, she's a scammer or she's liberal or pro-liberal. Well, one could be left over right. That's not the important part. If she got behind the microphone first, asked if she can get behind the microphone and introduce herself, who she is, then that would have been different. She didn't have to burn the flag. That was the wrong time.
Yeah.
I could see it saying, okay, can I explain to you what's going on? Here's what happened. And she didn't do that. She never explained herself. She's just saying, I'm the queen. Well, I don't care. You're queen of Philippines, you're queen, and you're from the Philippines, your father's from Japan, and he actually was the prince or the king of Japan at one time. Fine, good for you. Right? Like I said to people on the show, I've got royalty in my family. I can make claim of Canada too, if I wanted to. But why?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make claim of it. That's not necessary. Right? And I have the documentation. I got proof. I got documents in my cabinet right here to prove that I got royal family background. But I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Just like, well, we all have some royalty somewhere. There's people that have been listening to the show and watching the show for many years. I've met a few people that also, there's some of their relatives got royalty in their background. May have the Duke and Duchess, that sort of thing. Okay, fine. You're related to this person, that person. Good for you. But still, you could have royal family taking over Canada. They could have carried on. But most of the royal family are dead. They're gone. They're history. So and the only people that are left is Diana and her son, her real son, who actually is, she will come forward. Diana's still alive, folks. So I'm going to shock you guys.
I know, because you said about, and somebody, I heard about it months and months back, and I'm like, Trump was there after the accident under the bridge with Diana, right?
Yeah.
He was there to take her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, what somebody said, but Diana's a lot taller than Melania or something like that, and I'm like, well,
yeah, she is, because well, basically they had to make a bodysuit, or not bodysuit, made a face suit to look like Melania, and she's been wearing Melania's mask for a long time. Melania is not even there. The real Melania the real Melania refused to work with Donald when he became president, so she left him. And at the time, the thing is, most people may not know, Donald Trump actually rescued Diana from it was John F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump actually rescued her before she was supposed to have died. So she went into hiding. So she had to claim her death. She had to make a claim of her dying. So there was a girl that looked just like her that replaced her, that was passed away. And so it was a body double. And that's how they did it. But Diana's very much alive. In fact, most people don't realize that when one of her sons got married in the chapel, she showed up, but she was in disguise. And there's actually a video of her, photographs of her watching her kids get married.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
But she was in the background as one of the participants, as in visiting, but not, but she stood there and watched one of her kids get married, and that was it, nothing more. The thing is, most people don't realize that her and JFK Jr., they will be one of the two people that be witnesses at the tribunals, and they will come forward and basically say, these people here, and here, you're the ones that actually authorized my death. So yeah, they're going to be showing that on film. They'll be key witnesses.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should have written down when you were talking about something at the beginning, and I thought, I want to ask him a question about it, but now I can't remember what it.
At the beginning?
Huh?
At the beginning of the show?
Yeah, I was like, I was swearing and yelling. I was getting mad. Not at you, but
I was getting mad.
The
soldiers of. Let's see.
What's that?
The soldiers of Odin and the Yellow Jackets. The Parliament was accusing or making a statement that soldiers of Odin and the Yellow Jackets, which actually is Antifa, that they're working alongside with Pat King and all them at the protest, which is not true. They're not part of it all. Period. Let's see. Your OPP threatening. They threatened to arrest the trucker if he didn't leave. They're going to take him to jail and seize the truck and take his kids.
Oh, I know what it was. It was about the border crossing on Monday night. A girlfriend of mine was out there. Yeah, they didn't arrest 100 people.
No, they didn't. That was a setup. That was just to make you look as if they arrested people. Actually, they didn't arrest anybody. Nobody actually went to jail. There
was people that got arrested. She stood in the background because she's already been arrested.
Yeah, those are the Antifa people that got arrested.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, the Antifa's one. They're the ones wearing black. They're the ones that got arrested. But they wanted to say that it was Pat King's people that got arrested, and it wasn't. It was Antifa.
Yeah, I met Pat King in. It was in the summer. We had a rally in Nanaimo on the island.
Oh yes.
So are you talking about that? I don't think they were married, but he's got a girlfriend with kids.
No, well, it's his ex-wife was the one that these are the two boys are her kids. So it's his ex-wife that took her two boys in and got them both vaxxed.
Oh God, I can't believe people are doing that. That's just.
I strongly feel that she may have done it to spite him, or either spiting him, or she didn't want to believe what Pat has been doing for the community. She didn't want him to participate in this at all. I think she just wanted him to shut up and, gracefully, sit down, and not say a thing. So
that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was. Oh, now I forgot again. Anyways, I don't have I should write things down. Oh, darn. Oh. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Next time I'll write it down till I remember.
Let's see here. What else we all should talk about too?
How so? You don't. I know your wife is getting better from her health.
Yes, she
Um,
had she had
but
um, she had leukemia.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing that she got through that. Are you guys not going out to anything? Not attending anything?
Oh no, we go places. Her and I go shopping and all that. She's actually recovered from leukemia. She's just on the tip of the edge, is just finishing off her illness. So
No, I mean like
oh
protests or rallies or the border. You guys aren't going out to anything like that?
no, I've been to some of the rallies, but not to this one. I've been to other rallies, protecting our forestry um, in our area because
Oh, yeah.
our mayor wants to cut out half the park and turn it into a highway because he wants to convene two Sikh temples and put in 1,100 parking lots for them and not care about the forest and the eagles nests. There's lots of wildlife in there. That wildlife's been there long before he came
Oh,
in as a mayor, and this
what's
guy,
his
he's going to go to jail soon. I can hardly wait.
what's his name?
His name is Doug McCallum, Mayor Doug McCallum.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. I thought it was somebody else. Are you interested in speaking at any events?
Oh, I've always been interested in speaking at any event. Yeah, always have been.
Well, you should come out and speak at ours, Derek. I think because you got a lot of information, and I think I think I just didn't want to ask you unless your wife was doing okay, because I know you're there for her. But I think you should come out and support us in our rally. It's a small rally,
Mm-hmm.
Sundays, but I could talk to you at another time about it. But I think you should come out and speak on First Nations. We're always on the art galleries on First Nations land too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Where are you located?
We have rallies at the art gallery
Oh, in Vancouver.
in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and we also do a little one at City Hall. Joanne, if Joanne's still on here, Joanne, that's how I met Joanne, was at the rally. So there's big ones and then there's small ones, and the bigger ones they've had a couple of First Nations people speaking on the land, and our little ones, I think it would be good to have you.
Yeah, I'd be honored to do it. I mean, there were some people that I knew on the platform that were speaking these last couple of years. I mean, I knew quite a few of them, and a few times I thought to myself, it'd be kind of cool to get on the platform and say a few words that most people don't know. Like I wanted to share some information that most people don't know, or they are afraid to say it. And I have no fear of it. Like in spirit, people used to say to me, like, aren't you afraid to go to jail? No, no, not at all. And no police officer wants to put you in jail. They don't, because they already know that you're. See, the thing is that most officers, if you are gracefully I tell people this: you have to gracefully inform an officer if anybody comes in and threatens to say they want to have you arrested for being there, whatever. If you walk in the store and you're not masked, and they say, "I want to call the cops," they go ahead, call the cops. And a police officer cannot arrest you under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Yes, we already know that. But under the Nuremberg Code 2.0, but also people, I tell them this: under the Geneva Convention, you cannot, because there's no law, even including the word mandatory or mandate. That mandatory means you're volunteering. Doesn't mean it's a law. Never has been. Even a court judge in BC here one time, she was actually a one-time court judge, and she said the word mandatory is a law. And I corrected her. No, it's not. Under the Blacks law book, because I used to work at Surrey pretrial as a counselor, and I learned a lot. And actually, the Crown Counsel used to say to me, "Derek, you should consider being a lawyer. You're that good. You're really good." I said, "Well, thank you." But I was actually counseling a client, even though it was a lawyer standing next to the client. But my client said to the lawyer, Derek's going to speak for me. I do my deep search and I do my research for a reason. It's because you want to find loopholes, things in there that don't make sense. Okay. And the thing is that when you like, there are some really great people out there that have been doing some major loopholing, looking for to find out, say, what is law, what is not law. You get really technical into it. The thing is, I tell people, and I tell the officer this: if you want to take a trip, a free trip, if you want to arrest me and break your criminal code, basically you basically swore under the charter of rights and freedoms. You swore under that charter. If you arrest me or give me a ticket, you can be arrested right now under breaking the charter. You can no longer be a police officer. I can take your badge from you now as a citizen because I'm paying your job. And they don't, and they know that and say, well, I'm doing my job. I don't care if you're doing your job. Who told you to do your job this way to break the law? That's what you got to tell them. Who told you that you have to break the law? Who told you that it's okay to break the law? Because if your boss is telling you it's okay to break the law, that means you're not an officer anymore. You are just you're a criminal like everybody else. I mean, you have no right to touch me or arrest me. Period. And if they want to get more rougher, I said, go, guys. If you want to arrest me, go right ahead. But I will guarantee you this: names will be mentioned to certain groups of people that will come collectively, come to get you and pick you up, and you're going to have a one-way trip to Gitmo possibly, and you will be under military tribunal, not provincial or federal. You'll be going under a military tribunal. They don't mess around. They're collectively picking up anybody who wants to break the law.
Yeah.
They're not kidding around.
That's what, I just lost it again. First off, I cannot be evicted for not wearing a mask in my building, right?
That's right. That's under
management.
Under the human rights code, they cannot do that to you. No.
Yeah, the management has, and I have to do something about it. She has given me 3 or 4 warning letters on my door.
Three or four. You can do all the warning letters all you want. She's not the law. She's not the law. The word mandatory is volunteer, and she has to understand that word. The word mandatory is a volunteer. It's not a law, and she needs to know that truth. And that if you look under all she has to do is you can show her a picture, and that is the Black's Law book. The word meaning of mandatory. Okay, it's in the logbook, Black's Law book. The word mandatory means volunteer. That means you're giving them the permission to tell you what to do. Okay, that's what it means.
I stuff for myself, and they don't like that.
Okay, second of all, what you do is you go online to the Action for Canada, number 4, actionforcanada.com. There's a PDF file in there that represents the business as an owner of property. You can actually fill out that form, put that person's name on it, cease and desist what you're doing, or you'll be charged under criminal code, crimes against humanity. And they will back off and leave you alone.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Because that is an actual law. That's a law.
Yeah, I keep telling her it's not a law for it. You can't evict me for not wearing a mask.
You can't. That's illegal.
Yes,
totally illegal.
No,
you have to do something. You would have to do something really bad, really wrong. And there are people out there right now today. They're saying, "Well, you have to have a passport, the whole 9 yards to live here. You got to wear your mask all the time." No, you don't. Never has been. Ever since I've been doing this, from the very beginning, I have never worn a mask. Never. I walk in and I challenge them. Really, you guys think wearing that piece of paper on your face, that face diaper you wear all day, you breathe into it, and you guys are breathing into it. You're breathing all the carbon dioxide, and you're building up all this carbon monoxide, and you wonder why you go home. When you get home, you're going like, "Oh, I don't know why my throat's so sore. I don't know why I feel so sick. I don't know why I get headaches." Because you're getting yourself sicker. 90% of the people back in 1918, the Spanish flu, okay, when that began, the Spanish flu was made by the Rockefellers. They designed it. This was a practice at the very beginning. The Rockefellers designed this. The second one here that was designed was by the Rothschilds. The Rockefellers created this Spanish flu back in 1918. 90% of the people that died did not die of the Spanish flu. They died of asphyxiation of bacteria called bacterium in their lungs. They are dying from the lung conditions. And because they're breathing in the bacteria on the same material they wore all day, every day.
Yeah.
You don't, the masks were never worn. Masks were never worn forever for you to be to wear the rest of your life. I've had people say to me, well, I'm going to wear a mask the rest of my life if I have to. Go ahead. You'll be dead before you know it. If the jab doesn't kill you, the mask will.
Or the doctor will try to kill you in the hospital.
Well, yeah. We have a young lady who was a mother who actually was about to have her baby here in Surrey, right? She went to the hospital to have her baby. The hospital refused her. They refused her to enter the hospital because she wasn't vaccinated. So they told her, she said, I'm not going to get jabbed. She's a vaccine. She says, I want it. I don't want it. I'm not a vaccinated person. She says, but I want to have my baby. They refused her. Guess what happened? She had her baby at the door on the floor.
What?
She had her baby on the floor while everybody stood there and watched her have her baby. A taxi driver, an East Indian taxi driver came in the door, watched this happen, picked her up, took her and the baby, took her down to a clinic where an East Indian clinic, and they had the baby there in the East Indian clinic.
Oh my God! When was this?
This happened about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that's geez.
This is Surrey Memorial Hospital. That's how cruel they are. This is supposed to be a hospital, folks. This is supposed to be helping people, but you're killing people. So guess what? That's why they call it a hospital. The word hosp means death. Building of death.
Oh. Wow.
Okay. Hosp means hospice. Hospice means death. That means you're leaving this world. So the tall building of death. That's all it is. Nothing more.
Well, they tried to kill me in St. Paul. People don't believe me. But you telling me that story about the lady?
Yep.
That's because they treat you like crap in there if you're not vaccinated.
Oh, I know.
When I go and get blood, they never have a problem finding a vein ever. No. When I go and get blood work done.
Yeah.
They hurt me on purpose because I wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah, that hurts you purposely. Yeah. They do.
A friend of mine that's not vaccinated, she was in there 3 weeks ago at St. Paul's, and the treatment that they gave the way they treated me, they treated her exactly the same because she's not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Exactly what went through.
Exactly. Like Layla here in the chat room, Layla's actually in Ottawa during this whole convoy. And, I'm telling you guys, Layla, all the best to you guys. Just hold the line because, like Pat King says, hold the line because, like I watched the video where one trucker got scared and left because the police told him if he didn't leave now, that he'd be arrested. Like, they're going to take him to jail and seize his truck. So he left. Yeah. But as the one truck went in, 3 more semis came in. As one trucker was leaving, 3 more semis came in to take his place. Oh, more semis were showing up. They're coming in. When Pat King says, come now, we need you now, they're coming in, guys. I'm not kidding you. The freedom truckers are all about freedom. It has nothing to do with racism. None whatsoever.
No. Well, that's good because Queen Ramona said all the trucks were leaving too. I thought.
No, she's not. She's wrong. Sorry, they're not leaving.
Yeah, I know because I know people that are there. So
Ramona would have to place an order to say, even she opened her mouth and made a mistake. She says, those trucks are so noisy. They're so obnoxious. They shouldn't be here downtown and should not be here in Ottawa. Excuse me? Who in the hell do you think you are to tell me what they're doing, what I think is right or wrong? You're acting just like them. Oh, they're so loud and so noisy. No, they're making a statement, folks. That's why they're blowing their horns. That's what truckers are all about. They blow their horns to make a statement. They're basically saying, listen to us, we're still here.
Yeah. And the military. You said the military is good. It's good to come in because I keep hearing things back and forth that it's good, that it's not good.
When the military do show up, when they do show up, they're not there specifically to arrest anyone. They're there to protect us. In fact, you got the first groups of people that came on already are actually the veterans. The veterans showed up for a reason. They didn't just show up because they wanted to show up. They showed up because they were asked to come in. Okay, the veterans are the first test to prove to the police that the cenotaph is their territory, not the police's. The police barricaded the cenotaph for one reason, has nothing to do with anybody disgracing the cenotaph. They're trying to make the truckers look as if they were destroyers of property, and that's not what it's about. But when the vets came in here and removed the fencing away, that upset the cops. The cops didn't like it. The cops didn't like the fact is that the truckers called them, or the veterans called them down. They said, "Back off. This is our cenotaph, not yours."
Where was that?
In Ottawa. There was that was in Ottawa. There's actually the cenotaph. There's a big, huge veteran cenotaph that was already set up, and the OPP actually put metal fencing all the way around the cenotaph to make sure nobody got anywhere near it. Well, no one ever would disgrace the cenotaph, right? And so, anyways, I guess the veterans got sick and tired of seeing that fence all around the cenotaph. They're going like, "Why is that there? Why did the police put it there?" Because the police said, "Well, because we have to guard the cenotaph because they said these protesters are going to destroy it." And he goes like, "I don't think so." So what they did is they turned around and all of the veterans came in and they took all the fencing away. And the cop said, "You can't do that. You can't do that." And the prime minister says, not to take it away. And the veteran said to the police, "This is our cenotaph, not the prime minister. He never served." And the cops backed down.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Derek.
No problem.
I will contact you in a couple of days and we can discuss a few things because I think it's important that you come and speak at our rallies. And I know Joanne will agree with me.
Okay.
Joanne, she'll be online there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in a couple of days, I think whenever, actually tomorrow to Saturday, I'm going out to the border. Is tomorrow good for you or no?
So give me a call. Yeah, give me a call tomorrow.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Derek.
No problem. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Let's see. Layla. Yes, and she says in the veterans. Okay. Bonnie's asking Layla, is everyone doing okay? Are the organizers still in jail and did they let them go? Yes, and the veterans are guarding it now 24 hours and clearing the ice, the snow. Okay, yeah. Basically, they're going to try and keep the guys they arrested overnight, and they're going to probably try and get them to get bailed out, that sort of thing. The money's still around, folks. The money's still available for the veterans. Any which way that Trudeau is going to try to block all monies for us to for them to get their fuel, food, comfort, and they're like Pat says, they're actually truckers and people that are in the protests. They do have their own hotel rooms and they're all bought and paid for. So the hotels aren't empty. There are people in there. And they said, "Oh, the police came in and kicked them all out. They escorted them out of the building." No, they didn't, folks. Those people are still in the building. And they never will be removed. They cannot remove them. It's illegal. Know your rules, know your laws, guys. There is illegal. No police officer, unless you become a person that is causing complete danger to the hotel or to the staff, then they call the police. But there's nobody there is going to harm you. None. And there's such great respect. In fact, this is the busiest season. This has been the busiest season for the hotels, especially in winter. The hotels are not always as busy in the wintertime compared to the summer. So they're making really good money right now. Think about it, guys. Wintertime, not many things happen downtown. And since the guys have been down there, the streets have been absolutely clean. And also, there has not been any bit of break-ins, no crime. They said crime is down to like 98%. Like there's nothing, there's no crime. It's been clean. There's no crime. Like this, even the cops can't do their job because there's nothing there to arrest anybody for. So what they're doing now, the cops are doing, they're arresting the people that are actually trying to take care of the streets. Think about it, guys. The ones that are out there shoveling snow and keeping all the ice off the sidewalk and making sure it's nice and clean and whatever have you. They're keeping it respectful, and yet you guys decide to arrest these people for what? They're not criminals. And then you're using the word obstruction or whatever one of words you want to use, or like whatever you want to call them, ain't going to happen. They're not going to jail. They're not going to be in there forever. Okay. No, okay. Let me tell you something, you guys. The fence has been around Parliament Hill for a long time. There actually was a high fence around Parliament Hill back, let's say about a year ago. And the reason why there's a high fence, they're kept on saying, oh, well, because we're doing renovations. No, it wasn't renovations. Never was renovations. What they were doing, there was a special alliance forces that went into the building where there's nobody in there. And they went to there's underground tunnels in the Parliament building, and they went down underground 300 feet, maybe more. They found children. They rescued children in the underground tunnels under Parliament building. There was satanic worshiping, sacrificial tables, the whole freaking 9 yards. It was a satanic setup in there. You guys think you know only so little. A lot of things are happening in that building. Had happened in there. It was cleaned out. They cleaned it all out, cleaned it all up. The reason why they put the fence up there because they want to make it look as if they're still in danger. There's nobody there. Nobody cares. Whether you have the fence up or not, nobody cares. Nobody's going to come running your front lawn. If you think about it, guys, a couple years back, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, there was chiefs actually had teepees on the front lawn of the apartment buildings. Nobody actually said, oh, I'm going to race inside there and go get you guys. They're all empty. There's nothing in the buildings, guys. Nothing. Yeah. New fence since yesterday. Yeah. They added yesterday. Yeah, Trudeau wanted to make, or people who are actually doing this, they just want to make it look as if actually that there's people in there. There's nobody in there. Like I said before, over a year ago, they did a clean out. They were rescuing kids from underground. They rescued lots of children. They found bodies. They found lots of bad stuff. They found underground tunnels, underground cities. You guys had an underground city under Ottawa, and that got cleaned out. They blew it up. They flooded it. Same thing in Quebec. They flooded it. Same in Winnipeg. They flooded it. They actually went to all the apartment buildings and cleaned them all out. Every apartment building had a Freemason setup, sacrificing tables, cages with children inside the cages. I'm not kidding you guys. It was a complete pedophile organized group of people all across Canada. I knew all about this underground stuff since I was a kid. Calgary had an underground city. I knew all about it since back in the early 70s. I sent a message to Gene Code, asked him if it's true that there actually was an underground city under Calgary. And they're asking me, how do I know that? Because I said, I already know, because I know the story that one of my good friends in school, his dad used to go play poker underground the city to play poker. And there was a complete full-size underground city with casinos, you name it, everything. Whatever you want, it's all there. The rich people were down below, okay? 300, 400, 500 feet below the ground. I'm not kidding you guys. I knew all about it. I knew about it since the early 70s. And I mentioned to Gene's people about it, and they said, you're correct. You're right about it. You're absolutely right. Right? So, yeah, Freemasons are Luciferians. I'll tell you guys something. When Freemasonry wasn't exactly what it was in the very beginning, it was all under the Christian beliefs. But there were some really nasty people that were satanic followers that changed all that. When they slipped themselves in the back door, they decided to take over, and they decided to use that as control. And that they pushed all the Christian thinking, and they shifted everything around and turned it to satanic. So that's why I wore the aprons. Those aprons were the beginning of what they were. And a lot of people had no idea how, like, you thought you're joining an organization that you're going to help people, help the community. A lot of these actors and actresses and famous people from the past that were part of it had no idea that it really wasn't what it was. And the only way you're going to find out the Luciferian way or the satanic way when they begin that stuff is when you become a certain level. Okay. And normally most of the time it's 33rd level, even more than that. But they're going to show you some things. And if you don't agree with it, you're going to have to escape somehow, because they're going to come looking for it because you know too much. Okay. Layla says they close the entrances now. Only open is open. One is open. This way they, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I strongly feel that Pat's doing a fantastic job. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Just keep on doing your videos. Need your videos as often as you can, and ship. And like I say, even Layla, if you got any videos, ship them over to me, and I'll drop them on my my 2 pages. I got my Telegram. I've got my Facebook page, my True North Strong and Free. I'm going to call it a night, guys, but I'm going to tell you this. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching. Please pass around this video. Let people know what's going on, what I've been sharing with you as far as public's concerned, and it's more important. Also, too, if you can like and share this video or my show on YouTube as much as you possibly can. Let everybody know that I'm actually doing this program. My show, like I said before, it used to be called Between Two Worlds until YouTube decided to shut it off because I was getting too close to the real stuff, right? So I thought, okay, I can make some changes here. So I had to change again. So I changed my show called Shadow Chasing Show. And that's what got it to do, call it Shadow Chasing, because I'm chasing shadows. And that's exactly what we're all about, chasing shadows, not chasing our tails. Well, please pass this video around my program. Let everybody know about it so they know they keep up to date, up to par. But I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But if there's any more updates regarding this as well, if anything does make if there's any changes that do come about before this ever happens, sometimes it doesn't hurt to actually do it early and let people know what's going on. Anyways, if anybody's asking for when to get a full-time 1-hour reading, you're more welcome to. You can go to my website, whiteskycloud.com. That's whiteskycloud.com. I do charge $130 an hour and make an appointment. It's worth your while. You get a lot of things happening for you. Anyways, guys, it's been wonderful to talk to you guys. See you guys here and talk to you guys next week. Be good to each other, and may God bless you all. And we'll see you guys. Take it easy.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one time, one earth. So we and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace, alright. Isn't it time, brother, stop time? Isn't it time, brother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. We one earth, we one needs, we all we gotta learn to live together. Me in peace, in peace, alright. Peace.